Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Today we are taking a look at Olcay's brand new ShapeStage Morphing AUv3 effects. It's epic. You have 4 stages, A, B, C and D. Now, you do have presets. If you open this up, you can go into default and there's a bunch of presets. Can't find any actual presets in the app, but there are presets in the AUv3. So that's all good. Now, what is it? Well, you have drive, which is like a saturation. This is the shape of the drive. Then you have motion. This is a delay sort of thing. So, and this is modulation for that delay. This is obviously kind of stereo spread. And this is like a granular texture kind of vibe. Right, I'm going to set up a couple of things before we start so you get an idea of how this works. Okay, so we have 4 stages. So for example, if I go up to stage D here and I push this texture up, when I go back to stage A, you'll see this texture is down where I left it. It's stage A, B, C, and D. So you can have different levels set for each of these textures. Now, this is your modulation control section. Okay, so you have 3 LFOs, 2 envelope generators, and you can actually loop the envelope generators so they behave like LFOs as well, as you can see here in the little graphic-y thing. Then you have an envelope follower. Then you have global. So at the moment, global is set to 100% wet. Okay, so you kind of get how that works. You can also sync it to the BPM here. So then you'll see here it will change to resolutions of the beat, or it will go up in hertz like this. And you get a little graphic of what the LFO is doing. And then you can adjust the phase of the LFO. Let's get it going first, shall we? You can adjust the phase, so it starts at a different part of the LFO. And yeah, that's basically it. So it's quite straightforward. Here is your modulation routing section. To add a source and a destination, you just tap this, and it'll come up LFO1, and it's at the moment bipolar plus or minus, and it's assigned automatically, the first one, to the morph. I'm going to push this up 100%. But you can assign it to the stages, stage A, B, C, or D, the LFOs, 1, 2, or 3, the envelopes, the morph, the dry wet. It's also, it's already assigned to the morph. So I am going to go back here now, and you'll see this is moving like this, look. And this will be dependent on the speed of your LFO. If I go back and look at this again, you'll see it's moving like that. Right, so like I said, we can also offset the phase here like this. Okay, well, let's go into our routing. Let's put this into a uni plus like this. So it's tracking across the whole thing. Okay, and I'm going to slow it down a little bit as well. Right, so what I've got going on here, let me just close this. I have got, let me take this out. I've got Chord Jam playing Synthmaster 2 here, some nice pad sounds. If you want to know what that is, it's Sarah Jane and Me. That's what the pad is called. Okay, and let's put this in. And you won't hear anything at all. This is because the drift, this is basically your tuning, and you can go up and down. So I'm on A, I'm going to set this here, okay? I'm going to go all the way over to D, and I'm going to set this here. So if I go back to A now, you'll see that this goes back. Now let's just leave it on A. This is tracking forward. Let's go and slow this down a little bit more. And you'll get the idea now of what's going on when I engage, it's ready to go. So when I press play on our transport, let's make a few adjustments here and here. Now, if you set this, the morph control, like the where you are, it will then only morph between this point and this point. Then it'll go back. And then B and D. And then A and D, full range. So let's set this back to a center value, which is about, you know, normal for the pitch. So you can play around with the pitch all you like. Let's get on to C, put the pitch back there, and go to D and reset the pitch here and listen to what the other stuff does. So if I just play this now, and I'm going to stay on D so it's not moving. Here's drive. This is the shape of the drive. Here's motion, which is delay. And this adds modulation to the motion. So you can go extreme, spread, stereo spread, and texture, which adds texture to the sound. So for example, we're on D. Let's set some kind of extreme-ish stuff here. Let's put the spread up a little bit. So let's put the flow right up there so it gets kind of bonkers. Let's leave the drift where it is, which is more or less, you know, no semitone adjustment to the sound, and the motion for this we'll leave as it is. So this is the delay, so we can, yeah, let's push that up a little bit. Let's leave the distortion as it is. So let's track back now. Let's track back to C. Maybe B now. Right, select. You've got to, by the way, it's good because you've got to select the stage that you want to work on. So for this one, I think that when it goes back to C, let's just increase this drive a little bit and maybe a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And let's go back to B. Let's click on it so we see where we're at. And we'll just make a few adjustments to the sound here, like this. And this is very basic. All this is doing is modulating the morph control, okay? We can, like I said, you see, we've got all these 3 LFOs and envelope generators and envelope followers that we can use to affect the sound as well. So now on A, I've got something very basic and we can play around with the LFO. So I'll just start it off. So you can hear it now shaping between all these different settings we've got. We've got different shapes. Okay, we can sync it. Okay, anyway, let's crack on. So let's go in here, make another modulation. So this time we'll go LFO2 and we'll set this to the stage, the envelopes, let's see, the LFOs, stages, stage A and stage A drift. Give it an amount. Do you hear that then, right? Let's add another envelope. I'm just being extreme here. So maybe LFO3. Let's open this. Stages, stage C's. I don't know. Stage C's texture. Let's give it this. Let's reduce the amounts, so it's not so extreme. That's better. Bring some of the original signal back in. So, you get the idea. And for all these, of course, you can change the shape. Let's change this shape to like a square. So let's listen to it now on Piano Tech. And I'll turn this volume down anyway. And on Piano Tech, I'll run through presets. If you've enjoyed the video, by the way, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I'll put a link in for ShapeStage, Morphing, AUv3 effects in the description below by new app from Chem. It's $6.99. I'm not sure if that's an introductory price, but it's not a bad price. It's quite an interesting effect, very creative, if you like. But let's listen to some of these presets, eh? Of course, you can go in and alter anything you like, you know. Go and see what modulation's been used.